Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. What's going on there? All good. I'm here regardless of Jesse Lingard and poor game weeks and no Iheanacho and no... Who else scored well today? I don't know. I had Jamie Vardy, didn't do anything. That match was a killer. I made sure that I'd done like an extra walk and stuff. I didn't watch most of the Burnley Newcastle game. I saw about the last half an hour or so. I thought I'd get a walk in before the West Ham game and then before, obviously, the Man United game. That match was so harsh. Not harsh, but like so horrible. Jamie Vardy, nothing. Dawson, 1 point. And then Jesse Lingard scores another brace. And Iheanacho scores a brace too. Who I was already thinking about getting next week anyway, so I could have done without that. So, yeah, I don't know about you guys. I've just seen some pretty good scores in the Patreon channel. I was just having a look there. So let's see. Jordan is on 79 points, I think. Up from 92k to 43k. Ian, 75 points, up from 4k to 1k. Tahir on 82 points all out. Absolutely. Some insane scores going around, as there are in the chat that I can see as well. Only 70 points for Mark. Only 70. Is that it? Nightmare. 76 for Campsy Blank Cam. I was feeling pretty good yesterday after that Liverpool game in terms of points. And then, oh my God, today was a nightmare. Man United were brilliant. What a comeback. Pogba, boom. So good. Funnily enough, I don't know if it's correct on Live FPL. But I think the safety score is where you basically don't get a red arrow, right? So I got 42 points after a hit. I'll bring up my team now. I'm on 42 after a hit. After the hits. If I hadn't taken that -4, apparently my safety score was 46, so I wouldn't have got... my red arrow is actually even worse. But I can't imagine that 4 points is worth 1,000 places. Maybe it is. 1,100 places for 4 points? Maybe. That Alonso move was awful. Absolutely awful. I said it out at the time. It turned out to be even worse than I imagined because he didn't start. I'm okay with the other moves. I think they were fine. I don't really regret Jamie Vardy too much. He didn't play great today, but if I could only get one this week and then the other one next week, I was never going to get Iheanacho ahead of Vardy, and I don't think anyone else would have either. Let me just change my overall rank a sec because it's even more awful than I thought. I'm going to be outside the top 3k by tomorrow because I've got no players left. So it is 2,945 as it stands. That second Lacazette goal probably hasn't helped that. Let me just save that. So yeah, things are going badly for me right now. And the Alonso move has left me in a bit of a trap now in terms of transfers if I want to get Lingard in this week. And I don't know if I do still. If Gundogan plays, then I'd just rather just take the risk of him than just get Lingard in this week. Thoughts on Lingard for Sterling tonight? You got so much money, would you not just wait for that move? Philip, how's it going? Should I transfer in Salah or Wolves midfielder for De Bruyne? For me, Salah is one of the first players that would be on my team sheet right now. Definitely Salah. Neto might be injured. Why would you go Traore or someone over Salah? Surely it's Salah. Could have got Vardy but got Nacho instead. Yeah, fair play if you did that. There's no way I was going to get Iheanacho instead of Vardy this week. It didn't work out. I'm planning on getting Iheanacho next week anyway. Top 10k average is 44, so 46 sounds about right. Yeah, fair enough. 4 points for 1,000 places though. That's how tight it is. It's all relative. It's not unhappy with being 3k. It's unhappy at getting a red arrow. Do you know what I mean? Going from 1,800 to 3k is like going from 18k to 30k, you know? It's all relative. I'm not... if I finish top 3k, I'll be pretty happy, to be honest. I don't understand why does everyone think you hate Lingard. There's just like... I don't know if it's more people playing FPL, more people... There's this thing, if I don't have a player that I hate them... It's really like I've just started blocking people so much more on Twitter. Like you just can't have a conversation with anyone. It's like, why haven't you got Lingard? Do you hate him? Like the first goal today, come on. You can be a Lingard owner, have the points, don't feel shameful for having the points, and still say it was a lucky goal, the first one. I mean, he's kicked the ball into the floor, and then Schmeichel's watched it go in. I couldn't believe what I saw. But then the second goal, brilliant. Great run from Bowen, and an easy tap in. What more could you want? But I don't hate him. I just think he's... I don't hate him at all. I might even bring him in this week. I don't know. Oh, my God. Okay. Stop taking unnecessary hits. Just go with the flow. To be fair, like you keep saying, don't keep taking them. I've taken what unnecessary hit have I done apart from the Alonso one? That's it. Like I saw a comment just a minute ago on the YouTube channel that said, "Why have you still got Vardy?" This is the first time I've owned him. It's the first time I've owned him all season. The first week. So people are already saying, "Why have you still got him?" G-Man, how's it going? He hit that beautiful. Come on, he hit it into the ground. Like, getting Aubameyang, Tierney, and Bale for week 29 has killed me. Yeah, it's hit. I mean, I actually think. Look, I know Vardy didn't work out, but I think my moves are pretty. The fact that I took the risk to take out De Bruyne, so I took out De Bruyne because I didn't think he would start. He didn't start. It's a technique that professional. Let me read this. The professional footballer's mastered kicking the ball into the ground but maintaining the power and direction of the shot. I don't know if you're being serious. That actually sounds like you're being serious, but surely you're not. So Tierney and Antonio were injured. I took a risk that De Bruyne was going to miss out, and I thought I'd spend his money on Vardy. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't have got Vardy or Ian actually for West Ham, to be honest. Like, if De Bruyne was playing, I would have just kept him. It didn't work out. Jota didn't work out. I mean, that Liverpool game, there should have been more points for Jota and Salah. And Trent really probably could have got another clean sheet on another day, to be honest, and Phillips, because that shot should have been saved. So I think those moves are good. The Alonso move was stupid. I said that at the time. I shouldn't have done it. It's eating money out of my budget. I think for next week, I've just got to roll with it now. But this is my predicament, right? I probably need a hit over the next couple of weeks, I think. Hang on. I've balls this up now. Let me just do this. So this is the team for next week. So Kane captain, obviously. I think my team actually looks quite good. Like, for me, if I think Gundogan's going to start, I probably won't get Lingard for this week. I'll probably just risk Gundogan versus Villa over Lingard versus Newcastle. And then Lingard's got Chelsea. So I might even bring him in 33, even if he's got Chelsea, because for the end of the season, West Ham fixtures are really good. And it doesn't look like they're going to miss Rice and Antonio for scoring goals. And the other move is Bamford to Iheanacho. But the problem is, if I wanted to do both this week, I've only got 0.1 million spare. And there's no way by the end of the week this will be a thing. But one thing to consider if you're making early moves, there's FA Cup games this week. So Iheanacho's got an FA Cup game to play. And then Gundogan's gone down in price now, annoyingly. And I can afford Lingard in. Now, obviously, if I hadn't done the Alonso move, I'd have an extra 0.7 million, I think, spare to not have to worry about this and just wait till the end of the week. But this is a move I'm thinking about doing. I am tempted to do it early because I think I'm going to end up bringing in Lingard next week anyway for Chelsea. So why not get the Newcastle game out of him? That Alonso move was so stupid. It was so stupid. Obviously, it looks worse now because he didn't start. I basically sold myself the dream. The clean sheet, which they should have got, to be honest. What was it? 1 shot, 1 goal for Crystal Palace. And he could have got attack and returns in that game, I think. I'm not down. Oh, yeah, and by the way, let me just, before I get on to some of these super chats, let me just address the Dallas thing, right? Because all I've had in the comments all weekend is you sold Dallas for Alonso. The Alonso move was stupid because I took money out of, like, selling Dallas wasn't in isolation a stupid move, right? It was Man City. And even if I'd kept him, I would have put him third bench. And if I didn't have Alonso, I would have had Dawson. And therefore, I wouldn't have got Dallas on anyway. All my other players have played. So whether I sold him or kept him, I'm not getting those Dallas 17 points. So I'm not even bothered about that in any way. But it's taken money it's spread money around my squad now, which I probably want. Alonso's not even guaranteed to start. And also, one thing I looked at, because I've been doing a lot on the live FPL transfer planner, is looking at my defence, because I don't want to make too many defender transfers. And Dallas's fixtures at the end of the season are great, and now I'm going to have to pay more for him. So yeah, it was a stupid move. But I can't keep dwelling on it, because it's done, and, it's done. FA Cup is after deadline, so it shouldn't matter. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, because Leicester are playing right at the end of the week, aren't they? You're right. Sunday, yeah. Fair point. Really good point, that. The thing is, with Lingard, I don't mind. He's got no other matches, but for Iheanacho, he does. Maybe I just make the Iheanacho move. I don't know. Because Bamford could drop, and Gundogan could drop again. Crystal Palace clean sheet assassins did the same to Brighton, scored with their only 2 touches in the box. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Because I think now, this is the thing, people use outcomes too much. Now the narrative is, well, Chelsea's defence isn't that good, but come on. 1 shot, 1 goal. What I will say, though, what if a training injury? Yeah, obviously it's a risk. And I'm not... imagine if I take a hit and they both get injured. My other worry is Vardy. Can he even stay fit? I need to sort of look at some of these super chats a second. Calvert-Lewin and Smith Rowe to Lingard and Vidra for a -4. I mean, we haven't even seen Calvert-Lewin play. I mean, basically, you're swapping Calvert-Lewin to Lingard. Calvert-Lewin's next 2 fixtures are Spurs and Arsenal. Probably not a bad play, but I mean, I don't even want to talk about Jesse Lingard, because not because I'm annoyed about him. It's because I can't win. I just can't have a proper discussion about him, because this comments back are just, well, you're wrong. Today I got a comment, it was a tweet, it was you were wrong about Bamford, now you're wrong about this. They're still bringing up the Bamford stuff, for Christ's sake. I just mute those people, honestly. But yeah, I mean, Lingard in for a -4 instead of Calvert-Lewin. I feel like it's not worth it, but I mean, Vidra looks like he's going to keep starting. Vidra plays in 33 as well. It's not the worst move. Sahida, Iheanacho and Spurs defender next week for a -4, worth it. Maybe if it's for Reguilon. I'm not sure I'd take a -4 for any of the rest. Sam, thanks for the advice on Friday for Trent Iheanacho over Phillips Vardy, 20-point swing. Oof, damn, that's good. That is good. Garrison, Son and Lucas for the double, or Son and Kalichi. I think you'll want Iheanacho longer term. I mean, the problem is if you get Lucas, it's another transfer down the line. I'd probably just get Iheanacho. Such a good fixture. Gus, let me buy that J-Lings merch. Also, 85 points. Congratulations. I told you about you, Gus. Weren't you the one about Amity as well? Right? You came off at half time, my man. I bought Alonso in. Luck of the draw, I suppose. Yeah, not good. I guess it just shows it's not going to be 1 in, 1 out for Alonso, right? Why did Cedric not start for Arsenal? Well, people did say Saka could start left back, but Saka got himself. He's now injured. You're going -16. Don't go -16. Why are you not acknowledging Lingard's form? What do you mean I'm not acknowledging it? That's from yesterday, that water. Not going to lie, you've effed your team with Vardy, Alonso and Dawson. I mean, Alonso maybe. Dawson's been in for a while. I don't think... Dawson's not really a problem. I've had him for a while now. Vardy, maybe. Yeah, if we're talking about form, we should talk about Fernandes. 6 games, 1 assist, 1 penalty. 1 assist, 1 penalty. Now, from a lot of people, the way they talk about form, right? I'm not saying this, but surely he's out of form. Are we not considering selling Fernandes? Surely Alonso won't play against Porto, so likely to start against Brighton. But we said that last week, right? Also, there's FA Cup before the next league game. So, I don't know. I really thought Alonso would play because I thought Chilwell would play the next 2. I mean, a lot of Chelsea fans made the same point. I can show you... Well, my points so far are my points. This is it, basically. By the way, I think I'm going to keep Martinez for the whole season. I don't think I'm going to sell him now. I'm not going to use... a thing on him. I don't understand how the community is so toxic. I don't think the community is toxic, to be honest. It's just like the comments where it's just not even a discussion. I just can't bother with it. That's all. I'm not considered. Lacazette's such an interesting one because so many people were thinking about him, but then he played in the Europa League and Aubameyang didn't. So I thought maybe Aubameyang would start, and then we find out after the deadline that Aubameyang's injured or ill or whatever it was. So I wonder if Lacazette would have definitely started without that. Also, I saw a few Arsenal fans like kind of saying that this illness that he's magically found is a bit like Ozil's illnesses. Alex, great week. Wildcard with Trent, Nacho and Jay Lings. Very nice. Up to 5 overall, but headache for 32. Play 3. Trent, Azpilicueta, Holding, Cody Shaw. I feel like you have to play Trent. I know it's Leeds, so there's a good chance of him scoring, but I just wouldn't want to bench Trent ever. You have to play Azpilicueta against Brighton, in my opinion. And then Shaw against Burnley, I guess. Arsenal got Fulham, right? Arsenal have Fulham, and by the way, next week is so drawn out. Cody against Sheffield United, yeah, that's tricky. I think you have to play Trent. He just offers so much. I'd probably play Trent, Azpilicueta, and Shaw, and then just accept that you've got a good squad, right? You've just wildcarded, so you're going to get these headaches. Okay, so it's funny you say that. Jared Bowen for outside striker punt scored 3 and 3. So I've thought about this. If I don't make my moves early and I get priced out, I could get Bowen instead of Lingard. Aubameyang has flu, yeah, but does he have flu or does he have flu? But yeah, I've thought about Bowen instead. Selling Martinez to Mendy seems to be my wildcard biggest mistake. Yeah, I mean, like the longer you leave Chelsea defensive assets, the worse they become as options because the next 3 are good. Then I've said this a million times, like the 4 after that aren't as good. The thing with Martinez now, like it's all just situational. He's got 4 points, right? So once I get through the City game, in which I hope for some saves, it's then West Brom, Everton, and Palace in the next 4. Okay, yeah, Man United's in the middle, and he's got a double game week at some point. So it just seems like a no-brainer just to keep him now. Givan, Neto and Saka on wildcard, punt on Ings captain this week with cash divide. Would you not go? You're going Ings captain over Kane, right? Thoughts on Lacazette instead of Vardy to fund Jay Lings? Haha, loving Nacho needs some goals. Yeah, I guess if Lacazette's going to keep starting, then he's a good option, right? We know how good Arsenal's fixtures are. I wouldn't write Vardy off just yet. What I will say is I wasn't impressed with Vardy today at all. One thing to consider, and I know it didn't affect Iheanacho, but one thing we didn't know was apparently, it's all speculation, that a few of the players decided to have a party, which they shouldn't have been doing, and therefore they were left out of the squad for disciplinary. So there was no Perez and no Maddison, and that could have made a big difference today. So I don't want to write Vardy off just yet. Like, these fixtures are great. I mean, it's this whole thing about fixtures versus form. When do you jump on players? I've been thinking about it quite a lot today because obviously all I've seen in my mentions on Twitter is just he's on form, and then I ask people what that means, and then it's always, well, he's just scoring points. But at some point you have to try and predict before they start scoring points, and I guess that's what I'm trying to do with Vardy. It's similar to like I actually think, right, here's an unpopular opinion for you. Let me know what you think. So the eye test, right? Everyone talks about how important the eye test is, and I agree. You should watch football, obviously. 1, for enjoyment, but 2, yeah, it does help you with your FPL decisions. But I think for a lot of people, their eye test is not as good as they think it is, and I would include myself in that, right? Absolutely. I also think some people reverse engineer points scored. And then they revert. So basically, a player scores points, and then people reverse engineer that to talk about how the form is. So, like, example, De Bruyne, right? So, only because it's recent and because it worked for me, right? It's a good example for this talk. So De Bruyne, the narrative was he hasn't scored an open goal. He hasn't scored a goal from open play all season. He's a bad pick, right? So a lot of people were saying, and then he goes and scores a couple of goals from open play, and then suddenly I see people talking about him, and it's like, well, if you watched him, yeah, it was totally different. You can see him; he's getting further forward. Not really. He just happened to put them away. He had loads of one-on-one chances. He just happened not to put away. And sometimes that happens. Players go on these cold streaks, and sometimes, like Jesse Lingard, they have a hot streak, And sometimes you're on it and sometimes you aren't. But I feel like people they reverse engineer the eye test. So before, he's not scoring goals. Yeah, he doesn't look great. He's just not on it. For whatever, he just can't finish at the moment. Then he scores 2 goals per play. Then it's suddenly, yeah, he looked much better. He was more involved. He was getting more. It's just rubbish. It's just rubbish. So I think a lot of people, they reverse engineer what happens to tell themselves the eye test. Which I think stats because if you use stats quite a bit and you use them in the same way all the time, then you're not biased, right? So for example, Bruno Fernandes, you might say right now, well, he's only scored 1 penalty and 1 assist in 6 games. Is he now bad? Of course he's not bad, right? But if you look over the whole season, his expected goals per 90. Without penalties, obviously with penalties it's really high because Man United got a lot of penalties. It's 0.22. That's really low, right? It's really low. He doesn't have that much threat from open play because he shoots from range. So when I said today he's out of form, I was joking, right? It was tongue in cheek, but I got comments back. Well, he had that good shot that Laurie saved. Yeah, of course he did, but it was outside the box with a left foot. You don't score outside the box shots too often. Put that into perspective. Even Jesse Lingard has just higher open play goal threat this year, and so does Souček, right? Souček, the forgotten man. You remember when Souček was banging them in for fun? Well, Souček's XG per 90 is almost identical to Lingard, right? Right now, yes, there's more to it than just stats, right? Rice isn't playing. He's probably going to have to play a bit deeper. He might have to do a bit more defensive work. But do you remember when Souček went on that run and just scoring, and then he stopped? So that's what I think is going to happen with Lingard. The question is, do I want to bet against it for much longer? I don't know if I do, because the fixtures are really good at the end of the season. So even if his returns go down, he's still a good option. I said that last week, and I said it the week before. I think I said it the week before. Even if he stops returning as heavily as he is now, he might still be worth the price. And because the fixture's there, he might. Anyway, I feel like I'm just waffling now. But I was thinking about that today. I refuse to ever buy Son in FPL. Some things are more than FPL. People just convince themselves to make certain picks using the eye test. Like, I really try not to do this, but it is difficult. But you do, like, people will reverse engineer. Is that? Am I even using this in the right way? But like, they'll want a player, and then you'll go and find the stats for that player. Like the last 4, you might look at last 4, but then if that doesn't work, you go and look at the last 6 stats or whatever it might be. Why do I still have Gundogan? Because I made 3 transfers this week for 3 players that weren't going to play. I didn't also think he wouldn't play. Well, I knew there was a chance, but I didn't want to take the extra hit. Instead, I wanted to do Alonso, which is stupid. Lingard's effective ownership is 60-ish now. But does that mean we should bring him in just because he's highly owned? Yeah, I probably have missed some super chats. Sorry. I was Hamity, jumped 73 to 30k. Wow, very nice. How? Loads of points. Jesse Lingard. Double up on Wolves defence against Sheffield United. If you've got 2 Wolves defenders, I would definitely play. I don't know if I would bring 2 in, though. Use wildcard with Mendy, 4-point hit to bring Martinez back. Absolutely not. You just ride it out for the next few weeks. People will see what they want to see with the eye test. Like, I'm bad. Like, there are some people, obviously, that watch football and they're really good at seeing everything, or they'll watch a match back and have a look at things. But I find it really difficult, especially if I've got a player playing. Like, if I've got an FPL option in a game, I always watch them. Right, so the ball could be over here, and my player's there. I'm thinking, right, is he going to get into the box? Is he going to arrive at the back post? And I'm kind of missing the little details that happen in between. Look at the definition for reverse engineering. And he's on tilt. Am I? I don't think I am. I think I'm bringing in Iheanacho, which was the plan before he scored. I mean, eye test is just another way to decide players, right? Just like stats is. What's my take on Leicester's Pereira? I mean, I wasn't impressed with the way they defended today. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you don't want to take anything away from West Ham because they were good, Bowen and Lingard in particular, but they defended so high, and they just kept getting caught out. But Pereira is very attacking. Obviously, he's playing right, but I definitely prefer Pereira to Castagna, who seems to get in and around the box a bit more. I like him. I think the fixtures are good. If you want to take a punt on a defender, but they're just not keeping clean sheets at the moment. Hopefully, Soyuncu will be back soon. This week even, perhaps, and then that could be decent. You might have missed the boat on Lingard, but still, you can't just ignore a player in such good form. But this is the question, right? I'm not trying to sit here. I'm not saying he's a bad option, right, at all, and I'm not saying I won't buy him because I might. But I'm just trying to have a discussion, right? You might have missed the boat, right? But have I missed the boat? And how do I decide if I've missed the boat, or do I just not care about that and just worry about the fact that if I don't have him, then he's going to punish me every week? Like, what's the answer? Like, the genuine question. I'm trying to have a discussion with you in this stream rather than I don't know what do we do normally. But there's also those people that trot out the line. Yeah, but Vardy's a stat buster. That's introducing subject. So, yeah, I mean that's fault. I mean, I probably used to say that. I wouldn't say that anymore. Basically the reason I bought Vardy in is because his numbers are really good for this season. And they're similar to last season. So 0.45 non-penalty expected goals. Actually, I'll tell you what I saw, right? Let me find the tweet. Oh, it's going to take me a while to find it, isn't it? If I can't find it quickly, I won't do it. Oh, there's two tweets actually I want to bring up. And obviously, right, I use stats quite a bit. They're not perfect. Like, just because Jesse Lingard is going to regress, and he is going to, it doesn't mean it'll be this season. He could score another 7 goals this season, right? However many matches are left, he could score a goal in every single one. He could score a brace in every single one. It might be next season that he starts to regress. It could be the season after. You don't know. Just because a player is doing well doesn't mean they're going to suddenly stop just because they're outperforming XG. But that's where you try and make the call, and sometimes you get it right and sometimes you get it wrong. Like, for everyone that's tweeting me saying, well, what about Bamford? You got it wrong. Well, what about Calvert-Lewin at the start of the season? What about when I swapped Fernandes to De Bruyne? You know, you're never going to get everything right, otherwise you'll probably win FPL. And that's not very likely for most of us. I hate to break it to you. Look at this. This is really interesting, I think. Let me try and... I'm going to have to nick this picture. I can't remember where it's from, though. Actually, and this has made me rethink. This will make me rethink on Son. Let me see. I don't know if you can see it. I need to. Where am I? Oh no! Hang on. Oh no! This is going wrong. Hang on. Just for a second. So, I've covered myself. Basically, right, this is finishing, and this is over. This is from 2014 to 2021, right? Just to show you, like, that players do go on these streaks, and then they go on cold streaks. So Vardy's really interesting, right? So Vardy's here. I don't know if I can't really point it out, but you see Jamie Vardy. So usually he goes down for a bit, then he's up, down for a bit maybe, then he's up. Right now he's on a really poor finishing streak. Perhaps it's his age, perhaps injuries are catching up with him, whatever it might be. Or it could just be that players do this, right? The most interesting one, I think, is Son. So Son's right at the bottom right. Look at this. Constantly finishes above average. So I think it's above the line is where you outscore your XG. So most players, they're up and down. Like Harry Kane's pretty close. Goes through some periods of down, some periods of up. But most he's close to the line. Son is always up. He might go on a cold streak at some point. But I thought that was interesting. Unfortunately, Jesse Lingard's not on here. But look, Mikel Antonio, below apparently all the time. Maybe that's just now. But I thought that was really interesting. Oh my God, there's super chats. Regulon Lingard for DS and Gundogan next week -4. Yeah, I quite like that. If you can cope with game week 33, because I think Spurs have got some pretty good fixtures. I took the London pump, but despite that, I'm still sub 100k. Thanks to FPL advice. No worries. Good. Congrats. How many hits is it worth taking to bring in Lingard? Bruno and Cody for Fana Pereira for Gundogan for Rafinha. Bruno and Cody for Fana. That sounds like a lot of hits. I'm not really sure how many moves you're tempted to make in one go there. Chris Wood is the classic Moneyball stats player. No one in the right mind would covet him. Well, don't say that. I did earlier in the season. I thought that was interesting, especially Son. So maybe next year when he's doing super well, I shouldn't completely ignore it. I agree. Lingard is value for money, and I don't think there's too many other options around his price right now. And I do think, and I said this last week, that the fact that he plays 90 minutes is big. Like sometimes he might come off around 85 or whatever, but most of the time he plays 90. That's huge, right? Jota, you don't know if he's going to start. Gundogan, you don't know if he's going to start. Neto's potentially injured. So yeah, I agree. For the price, Lingard's great. I really think he is now. And I did say that last week. Trust Spurs' defence is a different matter, but they got Sheffield United to come. They got a double. I potentially take the risk. I don't want to just say Reguilon is a great option. Bring him in. It's going to depend on your squad. For me, it's too much hassle for Game Week 33, so I probably won't go there. Do I think De Bruyne will play versus Villa? I honestly don't know. The thing is, the league is wrapped up, but you don't want to start losing games and then have to keep on doing it all the way through, or keep on worrying about all the way through to the end of the season. So they might not make so many changes, but then again, Champions League is important, right? Let's see what happens there. You know, Chris, a week 13, 1.4 million overall rank, 106.1 million. Now I'm top 50k within 5 points. Wow, very nice. There you go. You can easily get above that. Okay. Also, right. This is the last thing I want to show you, right? Because I just thought this was so true. I feel like this is Lingard all over, right? Again, good option for the price. Not saying he's bad, okay? Not saying he's bad. But there's another tweet I saw. I thought, yes, this is perfect, right? Dun, 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 dun. Now don't go giving FPL Matrix any jip. He's a good lad. I really like him. He's a good follow, actually. If you don't follow him on Twitter, go and follow him. So basically, this is around the fact, because now everyone's saying he's in form, he's a great finisher. So he says, Lingard conversations remind me of the Greenwood stuff from last year. He's obviously a very good player in general. Yeah, agreed. Everyone's saying that. This is a hot streak. Yeah, I mean, I think surely Lingard owners can admit that, right? And yeah, right now he's finishing better than Lionel Messi, basically. But yeah, last year the same thing happened. So lots of stats people said Greenwood couldn't keep it up. Lots of people replied he's just a good finisher. Well, yes, he scored today, but that's only his third goal of the season. He's played like double the minutes of Lingard. So as it goes, sometimes you have a hot streak, and Jesse Lingard's on one now. And if you've had him for the whole way through, absolutely, congratulations. But I just thought that was interesting. Obviously, Greenwood's a bit younger. But why does it make sense to avoid the streak? See, this is the thing, though. Like, okay, so I've not seen Lingard score a couple of goals and thought, right, he's gonna go on a streak now. I'm gonna ignore him. I've tried to predict that streak's not going to continue at this rate, and it hasn't. And I've got it wrong. That's it. I've got it wrong. Like, I know people want me to want to say that I've got it wrong. And I have got it wrong. Like no one's going to be perfect every single time, right? It's just like, okay, here's a counter example. Calvert-Lewin, right? The whole narrative at the start of the season was he was rubbish post-lockdown, poor finishing, etc. Stats said, well, for the whole season, he's averaged like 0.49 expected goals per 90. That's really high. Fixtures are good. Let's get him in. Bam, score some goals, right? So it's like the counter thing, really, I think, just about. Who cares when the streak dries up? But you should care, right? I get it. Right now, it's very difficult to look past him, but you're always trying to. Surely that's the whole point of FPL. You're trying to predict when they're going to start, and you're going to try and predict when it finishes. You use fixtures for that. Obviously, Leicester wasn't a bad a fixture as I thought it was, and we got Chelsea soon as well. So is he going to score loads of points against Chelsea? Are they going to leave that much space in behind for him? Maybe. I should have called this the Jesse Lingard stream. Any other? Jim, you're a good sport dealing with trolls, mate. If I was you, I'd have gone ballistic. I don't think most people are troll. I don't think most people are trolling. I just mute a lot of people, to be honest. Cheers, glad you're enjoying it. Your moves months ago were amazing. No one was whining. Yeah, I mean, I got lucky at times, right? Got lucky. Yeah, enough Lingard talk. Sorry, but I think it's a good discussion, right? Wait and see Lingard score a brace against Chelsea. He probably will. Second best defence in the league, and he's going to score a hat trick. I don't know about the Twitch streams. Will be back at some point, but they're not. As I've said a few times, they're not going to be regular for a while. You did not buy Lingard due to subconscious bias against him due to Man United. I mean, that's just not true at all. It's Jesse Lingard Irish. Anyway, okay. Let's move on. Okay, here's a good question. Will I bring in Bruno for Leeds and Burnley? Please answer. I don't think I'm going to. Lingard is H. I like it. I'm going to watch that straight after this. Going Greenwood. Oh, sweet. Going Greenwood over Lingard as my transfer. There you go. That's the battle of the great finishers. I'll do an apology video to Jesse Lingard. Sorry, what was that question? Will I bring in Bruno for Leeds and Burnley? I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I am. The reason... So I don't think he's a bad option, right? I think I joked today that you don't need to worry about the fact he's out of form because fixtures over form. And he's got the fixtures, right? But for game week 32, I can't do it without a hit. And I'm not taking a hit to get him for Burnley. And one of the reasons is everyone's going to captain Kane anyway. So yes, his effective ownership's still going to be really high. But no one's going to captain him. No one... I'll say it. No one playing properly, I don't think, is going to captain Fernandes against Burnley rather than Harry Kane or Son with 2 fixtures, right? I just don't think they're going to do that. So I feel like he can punish me, but not as heavily as many other weeks. And I'm just going to bet that Vardy against West Brom or Salah against Leeds are better than Fernandes against Burnley, right? And then, so for game week 33, it's a possibility. But the thing is, I'd have to get rid of Son, and straight away, Son has Sheffield United. And then Fernandes has Liverpool in 34. And I know it's a huge risk to go without Fernandes against Leeds. The only kind of thing I'm thinking about is that Leeds, for once, and I think part of it was probably what happened with the red card, they weren't as adventurous against Man City. They're a bit more cautious with their play instead of just going gung-ho. Will they do that against Man United, knowing that we put 6 past them last time? Possibly. I don't think it's like worth not targeting Leeds anymore. Absolutely, I still think they're worth targeting. They're definitely, if I see basically right, I'm happy with Salah and Jota. They're playing Leeds this week. I don't think they're suddenly this great defensive team, but I think I just have to. I've made my bed, so I'm just going to sleep in it. I think it's just like that. I'm going to have Vardy against Palace, who are awful against Chelsea, and I just think they're bad anyway. They're a team we should be targeting. So I'm just going to go without Bruno. And I think my only hope is that Salah outscores him because that's who I'll be going to be captain in game week 33. So yeah, I'm probably not getting, but I'm not saying no because I do have a route to get him. But I don't know if I want to do it. Best 3 players of all time. Oh my god. What, FPL wise? FPL wise or otherwise? Dan, 59 points with Calvin to play. Very nice. The heartbreak of having Dallas first sub on a full playing 11, having played minutes gutted, could have been a big move this game week. Honestly, you shouldn't beat yourself up about benching Dallas. Honestly, the second goal was because City were chasing or trying to get the win. They played Man City. You knew they weren't going to keep a clean sheet, which they didn't. And they were the best defense, right? In the league. Yes, they made some changes, so fair enough. But playing Dallas was not a. I don't want to say it wasn't a good move, but most people would have had squads where Dallas on the bench made perfect sense. And if people got him in, fair play. But you can't be when I did the watch along, people were like, "Oh, he's benched Dallas. He's going to be annoyed about that." I'm genuinely not. like I said on the stream, like at the weekend or yesterday, if De Bruyne had played and done well, I would have been annoyed about that. But yeah, like whatever, like really. Yeah, I mean, I guess with the greatest ever players, you kind of get drawn towards players you've seen, right? So like Messi and Cristiano are just so obvious because they're so recent in the memory. I don't know before that Ronaldinho. I think original Ronaldo was amazing, unbelievable. And I think the problem is now everyone is just compared to Messi and Ronaldo, and it's so boring. Like original Ronaldo was so good. He was so powerful. You couldn't get near him. He was so quick. His finishing was brilliant. It was just his knee injury, I think, wasn't it? Seamus, don't forget Son is red flag with his facial injury. Do you think Pulisic or Havertz warrant being on the watch list? Yeah, definitely. I'll be honest with you though. I think the problem we're going to have with Chelsea for the even if they get knocked out of the Champions League, which they're not probably going to in the quarterfinals at least, who is going to play? Who's going to play every week? And that is the big issue. Like I like if you've been watching all year, I like Pulisic. I swapped him in for Son, didn't I, early on? And Havertz playing number 9. I thought he looked good, and it was Palace, and they're bad, so that helps. But that little flick over Gascoigne-esque was brilliant. I think I don't want to get too off track with best players of all time, but recency bias is massive. Like if you ask like generally like a question about Rooney, they're like, he wasn't good enough, didn't fulfill his potential. Rooney was amazing. He was amazing when he first got to Man United. He was just a brilliant goal scorer. But you just because he hasn't played recently-ish, people just kind of forget about that. Like Ronaldinho, Zidane. I'm not saying people think they were bad, but they just get kind of forgetting about how good they really were at the time. Why has nobody talked about Cavani? Yeah, Cavani's worth putting on the watch list. He was really good today. He was brilliant. Like how the hell would you replace Cavani? Have you seen the angles on Trent's goal and Southgate was there? But I don't. Does that make a difference? I don't think that seemed to be like a big thing people made out about that Trent. Well, he scored a goal now. I hope Gareth's watching, but it's not his attacking play that's the problem for Southgate, is it? Yeah, I've seen that De Bruyne versus Villa. I don't know. Let's wait and see what the minutes and stuff are like over the next couple of game weeks. Let's see what Pep says. I mean, Pep did say a week ago about how much he was going to have to rotate against Leeds. George, Kane triple captain for 32 or hold for a better opportunity. I think you just use it. There is probably going to be more doubles for a few teams, but we don't know who they are. We don't know who's going to play. We don't know if they'll be rested for other matches around. Because some of them, the doubles could be caused by FA Cups games, and so maybe players will be saved for that. Kane's going to play both those games. Everton and Southampton are fine defences to target. I don't see why you wouldn't if you had triple captain left. Just my opinion. I haven't managed to get De Gea out. Who would you get instead? I have Martin as well. I mean, I'd probably just get Forster and just save the money. Salah, Reguilon and Fabry -8 would have 0 in the bank. I mean, I don't know who you're taking out. Possibly. I mean, if it sets you up for kind of a good 4 or 5 weeks, but I think carefully about doing a -8 this early. Burnley can be solid defensively on their day. I don't think I said that, did I? And Leeds are not looking so adventurous. I did say that. I didn't say that, but I said a few people noted that from the Man City game, but it is only just one game. Just other ways of saying Bruno's declining. I don't think he's declining. I think he's actually kind of about where he's been all season, to be honest. I mean, it's difficult because you can fit a narrative around it. Is he tired? Has he been played too many games and stuff like that? Or is he just not actually got as much open play goal threat as, everyone makes out? I mean, if I think about the goals he scored recently, there was that chip against Everton. There was the volley against West Brom. All good stuff, I put down a second sub and Bale first sub. Oh, ouch. Okay, yeah, that one kind of stings because Bale came on for a cameo. Yeah, not good. Not good. Guys, I'm going to join your Patreon. Yeah, if you want to join Patreon, link in the description below. I want to give you even more. You don't have to give me. You don't have. You okay? You don't have to give me money, right? I think the toxic thing, like the FPL community, right, is in general not toxic at all. Like it really isn't. Like I trust me. I used to work. I used to work within like the gaming communities, not just FIFA, like all sorts. And trust me, the FPL community is not toxic. And so I've liked the discussion tonight. I don't think there's been any trolls. No one. There's a few people just saying salty early on. Got rid of them. Like I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong, but I'm not gonna play the game any differently. If that makes sense. Like for Fernandes early on the season, I didn't have him straight away. Then he kept being great, and everyone was kind of saying the same thing, like Lingard, like you have to get him in. He just keeps scoring. And in the end, I did, and I might do the same with Lingard at some point. By the way, I just do the quick shout out for all the patrons as well. If you want to sign up, there is a link in the description below. Because I think I forgot to do this on the deadline stream. So thank you to everyone that signed up, and also shout out to Ron F, who has signed up since the last video as well. Big shout out to you. Thank you very much. If you want to check that out, link in the description below. And hit that subscribe button. We're very close to 150k. I don't know if we're going to quite make it before the end of the season, but we'll see. And obviously hit the like button. I'm sending you J-Ling merch. Can you wear the cap live? I'll be honest with you, right? My head is massive. My head is massive. Hats don't fit me. There's no way J-Lings makes a hat big enough for my head. My rank last year was 166k. Awful. Have I seen Jose's press conference? I've seen like the clip about like the Son's dad or whatever. 1 million subs by the end of next season. Not sure about that. Sterling to Bruno sounds alright, yeah. 24 with Sanchez to go. Ouch, yeah, that kind of sucks. Not like this. Not like your score sucks. Like his in. I get the situation probably kind of sucks. All right, what else have we got? What else do we want to talk about? I'm sure there was something else I wanted to bring up. I can't remember what it was now. I mean, Captain Kane is absolutely like couldn't be any more locked in. Like Capsy's going to be the Capsy video. Is there any point in doing a Capsy video? Chaz, yeah, congratulations on your Lacazette captaincy. I am drinking, so I've mostly been drinking water with a few Coke Zeros. I've kind of given up beer for now only. So I've treated myself to some cherries and berries Tesco squash. I am 6'1", yeah. Yeah, the community's not toxic. You'll always have like those, sometimes conversations get heated because I think the stat stuff and eye test always comes up because people that hate stats will always be convinced their eye is great at spotting stuff, and people that like stats will kind of say, well, it's probably a bit biased, and that can get a bit heated sometimes. But I mean, it's like kid stuff really, in the grand scheme of things. Tesco needs to start sponsoring. Come on, Tesco. Every little helps. Son versus Kane captain video. Yeah, pretty much. Is anyone genuinely thinking of going elsewhere? Like, I get that. I don't know. Like, no, I don't get why you would look elsewhere. I really don't. I don't think there's someone try and convince me why you wouldn't go for Kane or Son. Cherries and berries. Yeah, fruity. Absolutely. I'm getting my H2O and I've done 17,864 steps today. We are back on it, proper style. And we're doing a watch along next Saturday. No, definitely not. Newcastle versus West Ham. I'm probably not doing a watch along next week. I don't really want to do one for Man United. And I like to do it when I've got players in the game. I mean, I could do one. No, I'm not going to do one on Friday, am I? I'm probably not going to do a watch along next week, to be honest. I've got things planned for that though next season. To be different. No, I'm just saying, is anyone genuinely looking outside of Kane or Son? if you don't own Kane or Son, if you don't own Kane or Son, I would start thinking about your transfers. If Kane comes to true, did Man United just get themselves Kane with that win? I mean, there's only a few clubs that can afford him, I guess, but I don't know. Mason Mount is going so under the radar. Yeah, he probably is. It's another player that I've kind of not really been drawn towards, and he keeps on ticking away. Got it wrong with him, I'd say. Lingard versus Newcastle captain. Do you know what? It's hard. I didn't watch the whole game for Newcastle's there, and most of what I watched was at the end when they were, when they were already 2-1 up. So obviously they were trying to defend that lead, so they weren't really attacking too much at that point. But against Spurs, for example, they did attack quite a lot, and I'm quite worried that they're going to attack West Ham because they've got Wilson back now at Saint-Maximin. They're going to attack, and Lingard's going to get space in behind. I'm worried about it already. Gundogan to Lingard and De Gea to Forster from -4. If that's the only way to get Lingard and you think Gundogan's not going to... The thing is, right, I think with moves like that, you have to kind of take into the fact you're restructuring your money a bit as well. You can kind of justify it a little bit more than that. Yeah, so Maximin, I know he didn't start, but surely he's going to start soon. Wilson definitely is, right? Yeah, I'm hoping Maddison's in for the next. I need Maddison. Maddison feeds Vardy. I need Vardy to do something in the next game. But I think I'm going to do Bamford to Iheanacho, and then I'm going to think about Gundogan to Lingard. But if Rafinha's fit and I think there's a chance that Gundogan plays the Villa game, I'm probably just going to do one move. I think I need to. I need to just step back and just play normally. Like the Alonso move, so bad. Hopefully he plays against Brighton and repays me, but it was poor. Yeah, look, it's very hard to go for Vardy over Iheanacho, but that's not my plan. My plan is to have both. I agree. If you're just getting one and you've not got the money to stretch to Vardy, like why would you even bother? You just get Iheanacho. But it was like I'm sure some people did, but most people surely, if you had the money and you were going to get both, but you had to get one this week, you'd probably all go Vardy over Iheanacho, surely. Kieran, how's it going? Salah and Lloris -4, or just Salah and Forster for 32? Keep Martinez for 33. Yeah, I mean, to get Lloris, I guess if you got... But Lloris and Martinez is a lot of money. To me, I just don't think you want that much money on your bench. Unless you can afford it, right? Hey, Joelinton was amazing against Spurs. If you see this, I will captain J Lings over Kane and I will send proof. Don't do it, just captain Kane. If I was going to get any Arsenal play, it would be probably Lacazette and hope that he keeps starting and that Aubameyang doesn't get any minutes off him. Leno and Holding. I think that's it, really. I don't think I'd go for any midfielders. Kane triple captain or Bruno out for Son? Can't you do both? I'm really confused. Could you not just do both? To be fair, Ian actually had by far the superior numbers. I mean, have you actually looked at the numbers though? He did have better numbers over the last 6 games, but one, that's quite a small sample, and two, it's not like Vardy's stats were bad. Ian actually was slightly ahead on all stats, right? Fully agreed. But I think you get absolutely nailed on this. You get penalties with Vardy. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people would have done it and got Vardy in next week instead, but I did it the other way around. Obviously, not great today. Will be annoying if Iheanacho or anything in the FA Cup ties is injured since the ties come out after deadline. Yeah, that's a bit annoying, that, I won't lie. Get Son in for -8 or Lucas Moura for -4. That's tricky. I mean, I think long term. I think Son is not the worst hold longer term either. So I'd probably just get Son. I don't really like the extra hit, but I think if you think like if you're going to keep them through 33, then Sheffield United, Leeds, Wolves, Villa, Leicester. It's not a bad end to the season. I could see me having Kane and Son for the rest of the season. Definitely Kane anyway. Stats don't matter. Ian actually, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Madison's not injured. Apparently, the speculation is that him, Chowdhury, and Perez had a party they shouldn't have had. Doesn't seem to be many penalties happening all of a sudden. Have there been any in the last couple of weeks? Wood had one, didn't he? I think Wood had one last week or the week before. Can't think of any others off the top of my head. I'm sure people in the chat will know. Gundogan out, which Chelsea player to replace? If you can forward him, I do prefer Havertz to Mount just because of the position he's playing. But Mount, otherwise, I don't think there's really any other options in midfield. Why are people going Cody over Slice when Slice has way more attacking threat? Well, recently Cody's been having more shots. I'm really keen to see your new shredded look. I mean, I think it'll be a long time until you can call me shredded. 17k steps is mad. Are you targeting a particular look or weight? No, I just need to do something. I've been doing like 5,000 steps, but I just had extra time today, so I just did a third walk. As a public figure, you have to sometimes just absorb all the negativities. If you try to retort every time, it can get ugly. Yeah, I know. I like interacting with people, though. I don't want to just ignore everyone. But there is that like thing I always see on Twitter, like big accounts don't interact, right? Which I don't know. Maybe I take it to heart because I would be classed as a big account, but I don't feel like that's true. I don't get back to everyone. That would be absolutely mental. But yeah, I probably do get drawn into conversations. I should just leave. People do bait me in, and I can't resist it. But as an example, right? Hang on. What? So 10 days ago. So apparently I've been mentioned 518 times a day on average in April. So I'd have to send 518 extra tweets every day just to reply to everyone. Mental. But you're right. Usually I just mute people. I've done that a lot today. You're an FPL genius. Not true. But as a Chelsea fan, I need to tell you that Alonso was the worst decision you've ever made. Yeah, I know. I said it afterwards. Like, it's not hindsight. I haven't waited until after he got benched to say it was a bad decision. I literally said on the stream, I stayed on for a bit after that, and I said that was a mistake. He's not nailed on. I just sold myself the dream of the clean sheet and big attack returns. That's it. That's all. Why are you not considering Pulisic over Matt and Kai Havertz? I just think from what we've seen, it's more likely for the latter two to get minutes, but maybe going forwards, that might change. Sometimes this way you give more attention to haters than to people who genuinely want to support. Yeah, I know. Alright, I think we'll leave the FPL stuff there. We can talk about anything else you want for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to shoot off. It's been good. I enjoyed that one. As I always say, and I've said this for years, I will always be back every single week, pretty much, unless something comes up, for FPL chat, whether I have a good week, a bad week, a good decision, a bad decision. I must admit, it's much easier when you're doing really well, like when I was triple figures and everything was going right. But I'll still be here for the rest of the season, even if I get a red arrow for the next 7 weeks. And if I finish outside the top 10k and that I probably won't like that. Anything inside the top 10k, I'll be probably happy with. Is Lingard coming in? Possibly. I'm thinking about doing a Bamford to Iheanacho, Gundogan to Lingard. I can't afford because of Alonso. I can't afford Gundogan straight to Lingard. And I think I want to do Bamford to Iheanacho anyway. It's just whether or not I take the hit. I'm tempted just to play Gundogan, to be completely honest with you. Ben Askren or Jake Porter, who cares? I'm rubbish at Warzone. Gus, you're not a Chelsea fan. Michacho, I don't know what you mean. I haven't watched Jack Mate's YouTube Gold Watch yet. Can you show us at some point your entire home gym setup? I can. I mean, right now it literally is just a bunch of weights on a bed with some kettlebells. But they sent me the wrong freaking squat stand, so I've got to wait another 3 to 4 weeks. But once that's set up and I've got a proper barbell and plates, I'll show it. Yeah. I mean, it's just in my spare bedroom. Will I have a Q&A session soon besides FPL? I don't really have anywhere to put it, though. I think this channel really is FPL. And you know how some people like pivot their channels to be like not just whatever they started with? I just don't think I can do that with this channel. What brand of tea do I get? I think my missus gets, is it Lions tea? I don't drink tea. I don't drink tea or coffee. I just think tea tastes bland, and I'd just rather just get water. It's quicker. Yeah, she drinks Lions tea. Lions, isn't it? Do I play RuneScape? I've never played it. No. Did you enjoy these streams more when you had 5,000 subscribers? No, I don't think so. Honestly, I think it's been fine. Like today, there's been quite a lot of chat all around Lingard. Bad decision, but I think the chat's been good. Like I've always said I'm not sat here as like some authority that gets everything right, because I absolutely don't. Like, I got Lingard wrong, but I'm just interested in people's thoughts on like, well, how do you try and predict when someone's not gonna keep this streak? Because a few people today have said to me like, you just have to get these players when they're on this form. And then my question is, right, well, how do you know when that run is going to start? Is it when they've scored 1 goal? Is it when they've scored 2 goals? Is it when they've scored 3? Is it when they scored 4? Like if Vardy scores against West Brom, let's say he scores 1 goal, is he then going to be on the run of form? Or does he have to score in the next game and then the next game? Like at what point for people does it start? And to be honest, there isn't an answer. I know there isn't, because for FPL, decisions are always different. Based on circumstances and stuff like that, you know. These streams remind me of the days of the pub when mates talking about FPL. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for. I hope you start the stream the Lingard debate. I can change the title. I can add it into the current title. Lingard debate. There you go. But I haven't got Lingard on the front. Check out Workout with Amy on YouTube for routines. I've actually got someone helping me with routines. I'm taking it kind of easy, but it's still really difficult. Like one thing I've learned from like doing workout stuff, weights or whatever, is sometimes the stuff that looks the easiest is the hardest. Like the small exercises. Never heard you with the hoarse voice. I mean, I guess I'm only streaming for like an hour, right? It's not only scoring, but also how a player's form looks. What is that? Okay, but so what about Lingard? This is where I think people like I was saying earlier, reverse engineer what's happened, and then, I mean, Lingard's, yeah, I think he has looked good. The funny thing is, if you remember, Mark came on the stream, and it was the game week after Lingard had scored in the opening game he played, I think, and we were chatting about it, and I said I think he looked like he had a pretty good partnership with Antonio, but let's see if it continues or something like that. I said. And obviously it did, and I never got him. Put on a proper Irish accent, I can't do it. Are you annoyed being in Ireland with restrictions being lifted in the UK tomorrow? I mean, it's quite difficult to like follow so many people from the UK. Know it, but I'm happy for them. But yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, for UK, a lot of restrictions being lifted tomorrow. In Ireland, all I can do is drive around the county, or travel around the county, and even then, like nothing's open. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. We're going to be like this till June. It really, it sucks. I'm just glad I have FPL, to be honest. What's my favourite movies of all time, TV shows? I'm really bad for this. Thing is, I just don't really have favourites. Like I tell you, I've answered this before. I tell you some movies that I've watched loads of times: Goodfellas, Matrix, and one which might be surprised on this list, The Last Samurai. I've watched The Last Samurai so many times. I love it for some reason. TV shows, Office springs to mind. I think Only Fools and is still brilliant, by the way. Probably The Office. 24, you still have 24. Breaking Bad was decent. I mean, decent's probably an understatement for Breaking Bad. Why am I playing Bamford ahead of Dawson? I'd always probably back the attacker, but to be honest, Bamford's probably going to be Iheanacho anyway. I'm in Dubai, literally everything is open. Yeah, we're pretty much still locked down for now. Tomorrow we can travel around the county. That's it, but all the shops and cafes and restaurants stuff are closed. I did watch the United game, yeah. UK office. UK office. I've watched Not Going Out, yeah. It's alright. It's okay. Lingard has freedom to move anywhere across the front line. It's very clever to find spaces. I know, but he keeps scoring from outside the box. He's finding space outside the box and just banging them in. Yeah, fair enough, Machacho. I don't know. I can't remember what your thing was to unblock you. I guess let me know. I've watched Afterlife. Yeah, it's great. I like Ricky Gervais. Yeah, I don't want to get into the UK over US. The problem is I started watching the US one and it's just not very good apparently at the start. You have to keep watching it. I just haven't got around to doing it. What's my thoughts on the current state of politics? Not a great topic, I don't think. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We're only on about 300 likes. There's 1,700 of you watching. Go and hit that like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button too. And I will be back tomorrow with a video. I'll be back Tuesday with a video. I'll be back Wednesday with a video. Thursday with a video. Friday with a video. Friday with a deadline stream. I'll see you all then. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Cheers for the chat. Congratulations again to Jesse Lingard owners. Maybe I will be with you soon. Who knows? Good night.